And welcome to Nocturnal Frequency Radio. What's going on? Hold on, let me just make sure this is all good. All good. All right. Mr. Matt Williams will be joining us in a few minutes here. Let me just get that down. Make sure that's done. And there's Mr. Williams. How are you, sir? Oh, he's busy. Busy. Anyhow, how are we doing this afternoon? It's pretty cool. We had a major storm here. Hey Dazzy, how's it going? Hello, Matt. Oh, he's away from his mic. Hold on, we'll wait. Yeah, so I figured I'd come in here for a little bit, a couple hours anyways, see what everyone's up to. And Matt was kind of talking about something that piqued my interest, actually. He put it out there for a while. And it's kind of a topic that's kind of interested me. Hold on. Hello, Matt. How are you? Oh, he's still away from his mic. And that's the Mandela effect. You know, things that, like you sit there and go, wait a sec, I thought, so-and-so died, or, a public figure or somebody, it's just weird. And, you just hear they just died. Wait a sec, I thought they were long gone, or, some of the cartoons like the Barnes or Bears, and there's a few things that I guess when you're a child and watching these things, you kind of remember things differently. I don't know, but I think we have Matt's there.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Williams.
I just wanted to get some ice for my drink.
Yeah.
I've been sitting there for like 10 minutes listening to the music going. I thought, oh, go on, let's just go and run down. And of course, that was the time that I needed to be there. So I should start, but there we are.
That's okay. We're here. Right.
Oh, camera's on.
We're here. There we are. Black Asteroids.
Yeah.
I love the shirt.
Yeah. Good band. But the thing is, which band? Because there's Black Asteroid and the Black Asteroids.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I'm not. I don't know if that's the one I'm familiar with or not. I'm actually not really familiar with either one. They just the name sounds familiar.
Well, the people that gave me these T-shirts asked me to come to see them because they said we're into crop circles and we're into what you do, and we're doing a gig in Bristol. So I came over to said hello, and I was like, oh my god, they're like space prog rock. Oh wow,
I think it's the same band. Yeah, I think that's the same one. Yes, sir.
But there's another Black Asteroids, which I've just looked up today on the internet, and does EDM music. So it's really quite, it's good stuff. So I'm thinking, hang on a minute, it's like, yeah, they're all kind of like going down this vein. I understand, why they're probably doing it. It's a Lovecraftian thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll have to dive into. Is there music easy to find?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, Black Asteroids, Spotify.
Yeah.
Bang, straight up there.
Oh, both of them are there.
Yeah, and on Bandcamp or something. I think it was the other one.
Oh yeah,
Some
Bandcamp.
some good stuff. I mean, if you're into like hard techno, that's the guys that I found today.
Mhm.
But where are the guys who are the prog rock space band I met? I can't find them.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm still looking for them. So yeah, I'm just today I tried to look them up, and that's why I'm wearing the shirt. And yeah, they are.
Maybe one of them will pop up on one of your live shows and, hey
Yeah,
Matt, remember us? You came to check us out a long time ago. We gave you a shirt.
yeah, yeah. I've got stickers and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I'm a fan, even though I don't know who they are and where they're from. Spain or somewhere, I think it was like European, and they were touring around. So yeah, but this EDM guy, I think he's based in the UK. I think he's UK based. So
Yeah.
different guy, but the same name.
Yeah.
So it's like. It's a bit of a clash going on there. I don't know how one would find the different form of.
Yeah, I know you find that quite often, especially in music. All these bands that have similar names or the same name. I know for the longest time, one of the more notorious ones was Bush, the song, the band Bush, and they technically couldn't be called or legally be called Bush here in Canada. They had to be called Bush X.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Something's flying around my room.
It's mysterious.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sort of like getting back into the idea of hooking up with some bands and doing some stuff. If they want to sort of get their music out there,
Mm-hmm.
I'll put their tracks on my videos that I do. So
Yeah, I mean that's we were doing that for quite a while. We were like, interacting with a lot of bands and, saying, "Hey, look at, we don't mind playing when we were doing the live radio. It's like, yeah, we'll play your music during our live missions and stuff like that." And there's a lot of cool bands. And like I'm amazed that, some of these bands, they come out of the woodwork and you're like, oh wow, that's cool. You actually listen to the show. Wow. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool.
yeah,
So, but it's a good way of discovering pretty cool music and new music. Obviously, I mean, uh, I like Bandcamp. Bandcamp's got some really cool stuff to discover. And
yeah,
it's refreshing compared to like going to the big things. Like obviously, Spotify does have a lot of really cool stuff, but a lot of people are so mesmerized by all the big stuff, the mainstream stuff,
yeah.
with that stuff. They very rarely. I don't know. Like how do you discover music really?
Well, just by chance, really.
Yeah.
It's what drifts my way, and sometimes I think, oh, what's that? I've used Shazam to kind of like, what's that track? And I've managed to like hunt down a track that way. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find the exact vibe you want and like, and I tapped into these guys today. Well, this guy or guys, I don't know how many of them, as an EDM band, and they're spot on as an EDM band.
Yeah.
Right. But I met these guys from Spain who were like a great like space prog rock Hawkwind sort of band.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, it's like two of these bands called the same name, and they're both brilliant. Ah, yeah. What the hell? So I'm trying to track them down now and make contact with them again and say, any chance I could use your music. So,
yeah. I mean, we like we have found over the years with the paranormal sort of realm, there's a lot of musicians that are really, really intrigued with the paranormal, and they'll, hey, like transition to the sort of, investigating and all that kind of stuff, and doing stuff that's kind of related with music and the paranormal.
I've
And
got to put some stuff in my eyes, so
yeah,
I don't know if you want to. Yeah, I'll just
go
move
for
myself
it.
a
Go
sec.
for it.
Hang on.
Hey, Mr. Wills, how are you? Good to see
Yeah,
you.
a bit involved.
That approach us and go, hey, I really like the content you guys are talking about, and we've actually had a few of them on the show actually over the years.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Right. And we is back.
There you go.
Yeah.
No,
My eyes are very dry with this antibiotic.
fuck, you're on it again, eh?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm doing my damnedest to fucking stay off it. I'm telling you. I've been actually really good, and I thought yesterday I was going to have a setback and have to go back in and get some more antibiotics, but I think I've been flushing out pretty good. So enough with the antibiotics. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Well, the funny thing is, I did a live stream last night, and you can actually drink alcohol on antibiotics, and certain ones you can't, but these ones you can. So I thought I'd do a live stream. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll sit down and do a live stream, and yeah, great. We did the live stream, and I was just sort of stretching at the end, like that, and I thought, what the hell's that? I've got what the hell's that? There's a big lump on my just below my nipple.
Really?
But I had that checked out today, and they said it's a cyst.
A cyst?
Like, wow. I'm like, oh god. Yeah. Is this something to do with the antibiotics? I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, there's just well, obviously people know antibiotics, too much of it's just not good for you.
Yeah, I've had 3 lots that didn't work, and now this big dose, which is like a nuclear bomb. So yeah, it's doing something. Yeah.
I mean, I think I've been on, I don't know, since the beginning of the year. I've been on like 10 rounds.
Ugh.
And it's like, well, maybe switch me to like a low dose antibiotic for management. So
yeah,
but I think
Vaseline just dry. My lips are dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antibiotics will dry you out like a prune. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. I was always afraid to, drink and whatever else. And I was watching what I was eating, and everything else went on antibiotics. But thankfully, it's. I think I've kind of got the management part down, because I kind of know what's going on now.
Yeah.
But it's not 100%, but if that's what it is, then I've kind of got to adjust on it, hopefully.
Yeah.
But waiting for these stupid fucking specialists to see them, and oh my god, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So
hey, so what's happening then? What's the occasion today?
What's the occasion? I just felt like coming in here and chatting. Actually, you really piqued my interest again with the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
When you posted that little thing on your channel. Have you had much reaction? I haven't looked at the comments.
I haven't either. I'm going to have to kill Firefox because I'm in Chrome and restart Firefox because I've got a light in my eye. Right, Firefox, get rid of. and I'm going to bring the chat up so I can see the chat bigger here. Yeah, the funny thing was, on the weekend, I sensed something change. I don't know whether it's weird sort of feelings you get because of the antibiotics. They do tell you, you do have. Hold on a second. Yeah. They do tell you that you can have mood swings and sort of even suicidal thoughts and things like that.
Really?
So watch out for it. Yeah. Not that I'm not suicidal or anything, but
No.
I'm thinking, well, but let's see what happens with this. Where it goes, and where it goes is I've been like a Mr. Flump.
Yeah.
Flumping around and sweating a lot and not getting a lot of stuff done. Really, I was like really sort of crap on some explores,
Mhm.
and I sort of came back and. Well, I injured myself as well on an Explorer as well.
Yeah, I noticed that on your arm there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just came back home, sat down, and thought, well, what should I go out today? Should I stay at home, or should I just chill out, not do too much? And I had about 3 or 4 things that I didn't know I was meant to be doing that day ahead of me, and suddenly they came up. It was like I had to meet this guy, I had to take somebody flying. There was a crop circle conference on, and it was like all these things just like jumped up in front of me, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? All these things I've got to do all that now," and I just said, "Well, hang on a minute. I've got video footage which I haven't even ingested. So let's start the ingestion of the video footage, and then I'll think about whether or not I can get to that guy in this time, and maybe I can take that guy. I can fly in this afternoon, and then I can go and see this other chap in the evening." So I'm trying to work this stuff out in my head. And I'm like, yeah, no, I've really not double booked, I've triple booked today, and I'm like, I haven't got enough time.
Yeah.
Like I said, when the crop circle where we didn't have enough time, and I said I need more time. I kind of said a little prayer sort of thing, and I said, hey, come on, Doctor Who, if you're out there, if you're out there, can you go back in time and sort something out to stall the guy that I need to go and see, because like I've got too much stuff to do here. I've got bits and pieces. I wiped a memory card by mistake.
Wow!
Like, yeah, and I'm like, this is just like, maybe I should just give up on today and not do it at all. Just like say no. I've done a whole day of exploring before. I'm knackered, and now I've got a whole day ahead of me that I didn't know I had. It's like bang, 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 and it's like I need more time. Is there any way that like you could just stretch time out so that it fits? And yeah, my day went very strangely after that. I had a lot of things happening. The guy rang me and he said, well, I'd been speaking to him about
battery low.
I've been speaking. That's my phone. I've been speaking to him about meeting him at the pub, and he said, "I'm here at the pub now, and I'm I'm waiting for you, so I'll see you soon. I'm like, oh God, I'm feeling bad. Thinking I've got to go do this stuff, and I'm late. And but I sent this thing out, this thought out, and I was like, well, I've got to try and recover this footage before I go. Start the process going.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask Doctor Who to do a magic trick here, and just like give me some space. And I spent an hour doing what I was doing with the recovering of the footage, and then I had a message from the bloke, and he said, "Oh, I'll be arriving at the pub in about 20 minutes." I'm like, "But you told me you're already at the pub." And it's like, so it's like you're at the pub. Oh, but now you're going to be arriving at the pub in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I just spent an hour doing this stuff. So now I've got time to get to you.
Wow.
I'm like, that's weird.
That is weird.
That's a bit weird. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe the pressure's off then. So I jump in the car and go over and do things for the rest of the day. And I noticed that there were like a load of events that happened during the day that I met people that I hadn't seen for a while. Things lined up, information was given. It was just like a very big download of information and things happening. Yeah, it was a really interesting day. The evening time came, and we were meant to be flying my drone over over a crop circle. So I sort of set the drone up to go up, and the drone decided it would no longer fly. It had to log into DJI, and it would no longer do anything. So I was like, okay, but this is crazy. I'm just going to give up on that, and I'll do it again. There were several things that happened during the day. The DJI drone had never given me that sort of log out thing before. It had lost all its settings. It required me to go back in completely fresh as a new user, and it's like, okay. There was what else was there? My phone was behaving oddly. The phone was not behaving in the normal manner that I use it, and if I think it's faster than it was. And when I got home later on in the evening, I tried putting my computer on, and everything was going faster. My computer was ingesting footage and playing footage and doing effects on the timeline. Now, that normally it wouldn't be able to do at like 4K quality. I tend to turn the quality down to 2K to see the effects and then let it render it later on. And everything was working like magic. It was like, hang on a minute, I cannot do that effect and have it play real time. And I'm just that cannot do that. That literally goes staggering, and I'm just playing it, and it's real time, and it's working real time. What's going on? I don't understand what's happening here.
Yeah.
So there were things like that happening, and
so what do you think it is? again, because you're like, oh well, the antibiotics can alter shit, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's just what do you think? Like that type of day amounts to something just extremely strange that that maybe something's caught up to you or got to you, sort of thing, that most people, like some people have experienced but not a lot of people have experienced, sort of thing. Just
Um,
the high strangeness of it all, that's just weird.
yeah. Well, when things come together, at a certain, you know, focus point, um, you kind of get a vibe. You get a feeling, and I've had this when we've been making crop circles, that we should do something, even though it seems silly,
Hmm.
And I got that vibe. That vibe was kind of telling me that this was a good day. This was
Yeah.
the day.
Hmm.
The day had been corrected. Everything was going to work well today. Um, I met somebody that I hadn't seen for a while, and it filled in a load of blanks on what was going on.
Hmm.
I'm just like, just bang, bang, bang. Um, I, I, yeah, it was a very, very lined up day. Everything lined up. Everything went absolutely perfectly, and it's just, I don't know if
So
yeah.
would you say normally, because you're saying everything like was perfectly lined up, everything was linear, whereas maybe do you feel most days, do you seem like non-linear, like kind of jagged, and just
Yeah, there's usually problems and things happen, and it's kind of like this particular day was just everything lined up in exactly the way that it needed to be,
yeah.
and my computer's working faster. Everything came back. I got my footage back. Everything, effects were rendering on screen at real time, which wouldn't happen normally. They would just jitter, and it was doing it
Yeah.
real time, and I was like, okay, yeah. So I was just like, okay, this is a good day. This is a good day. I asked for some help, and help has been given. I don't know how. I don't know why, but it has been given. You know, so
Mr. Mick is
yeah,
in
we
chat.
weird,
Hey.
weird, weird mystical stuff. So the Mandela effect that
Yeah.
I mentioned about, in the past, I've done things with visualizing portals and going to
Hmm.
portals, and then things have changed when I walked through the portal, and buildings have changed and features have changed. There's differences to things, and I say that I'm still in that place now. I'm in this dimension or wherever I went now, because I did that once. I haven't done it again because I thought it's not a good idea to mess around with doing this. But yeah, I just feel that something lifted, like a weight lifted off um, during the weekend.
Yeah.
Something happened, and a weight lifted off, and things got better. So I just put it out there. I just said, has anybody had any strange effects, Mandela effects, or any sort of weird things happen to them this weekend? Has anybody seen any strange things happen? Has anybody noticed any changes in their lives, or whatever? And yeah, so I put it out there. I haven't looked at the comments yet. Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Well, I did look at one or two, but yeah, people were saying, yeah, something happened over the weekend, and it wasn't just the football. It wasn't just the euphoria
yeah.
for the football. Yeah.
I don't see. I see people saying hi to Dinkum, and I don't see Dinkum in chat. That's weird. You see
Is he
Dinkum?
there? Yeah. I was going to bring up a
That's weird.
nocturnal
Talk about strange. But
radio.
I know YouTube's been fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, all I'm saying um, is I'm one of these people that believes in good days and bad days. And if it's a
Yeah,
bad day, stay home. Don't do anything because something bad might happen. And if it's a good day, everything will go right.
yeah,
Like you'll have people turn up that you needed to turn up. Things will drop into your lap. Magic will happen. Bang, 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 bang. That was one of those days. And there have been days when I've known that things are not. Not a good day. Get
yeah.
that feeling it's not a good day, and sort of like I literally go and you know act like a turtle, go home, and just sort of like wait till the day's over. I can't explain more than that, but it's just like there's days that work and days that don't work. So and yeah,
It goes part and parcel with us not fully understanding life. Period.
yeah,
And there's so many things that happen that we sit there and go, like something as simple as deja vu, and again, what a lot of people will call the Mandela effect. Things that happen, or things that you thought you knew are totally, you know, not like they're a total 360. Wait, or 180. It's just wait a second. No, I remember what it's like I was saying earlier. Like like a celebrity. Like all of a sudden you hear that they pass away, and you're like, wait a sec. I thought they passed away like 20, 30 years ago. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I'm just
yeah,
bringing the chat up. Admit Audacity said they're the same. You get this kind of feeling like today's a good day or today's a bad day.
yeah,
And it's kind of like if it's a bad day, you keep your head down, you don't take chances. Yeah. And
yeah.
if it's a good day and you've noticed you're on like a running streak of luck,
Hmm.
yeah, you can literally push bounds. You can push bounds on
Yep.
that day, and you can,
Mm.
yeah. I don't know if everybody's ever experienced that sort of thing, but I have. I kind of, you get them from time to time.
Well, I remember you were saying too that when you look at when you were kind of doing the whole crop circle thing, that you did experience time differences, time shifts, and stuff like that. So I mean, is that maybe a possible thing where that has stuck with you, maybe in day-to-day life?
Yeah, well, I'm always wondering about whether or not I'm in another dimension or
Hmm.
realm from the
Yeah,
place I came from, and there's another version of me somewhere
yeah.
else. However that works, but yeah, I'm wondering, kind of like where am I now? And the uh, deja vu to me seems like alternate realities, things that have happened to you at that time, at that point,
Hmm.
where something happened to you in a different reality
Hmm.
if you'd done a different thing. I've had feelings, sort of like driving down the road that, like, there's a vehicle sort of like just cut in front of me and crashed, and I get this like sensation, and I'm like, whoa. And it's like, yeah, that's happened, but not me here now. That's happened somewhere else. It's almost like a
Mm.
deja vu. Like that happened to somebody else at this point in time, but in a different frequency, a different dimension.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. I get kind of like, feeling like, yeah, some one of my
Your
counterparts
versions.
out there,
Your versions.
versions,
Yeah.
has passed away.
Version 2.0 or
Yeah, in
4.0.
another dimension. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird because I mean, like again, it kind of relates to like the possibility of us intertwining with other dimensions, and in those dimensions that quite possibly there's a version of you that's entirely different, entirely, or again, people, the theory is that people are coming back from the future and interjecting with us present and telling us stuff, or having a glitch and saying, well, somebody's kind of warning you, or no, this is what's happening, or this is about to happen. Kind of like the Mothman thing, the harbingers of barriers of information that most likely you don't want to hear, but you need to heed.
Yeah,
You need to say, look at, oh, wait a sec, they're warning us of something, and we're not paying attention to it.
yeah. I mean, I've spoken to people over the years, and they've told me stories about having it like they've been having a dream
Yeah.
that they're going to have a car crash at a
Mm.
certain point, and whatever, and then they wake up and they go to work, and they're driving along, and they think, hang on, this is what I had in that dream. It comes to them, they're like, this is where I had, and the person put their foot on the brake, and a tree went,
Yeah.
and that would have literally, killed him. The tree would have gone through the car.
Hmm.
And he said, this was Paul, his name was. He was a
Yeah.
manager at the Muni Art Centre where I was a projectionist. And he said, how the hell did that happen? I had a precognition of a tree coming down and crashing. And then when I'm driving down that road, I'm like, oh, that's where I had that dream. And he just put his foot on the brake, and he's like, whoa, and boom, that happened. It was like he precognition. It's like, do you pick up ripples of different alternative realities, that things that could be happening to you? You pick up future possibilities, and they ripple back.
Yeah.
Variations, which way you can go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just plays part and parcel, like, of anything anything strange that happens in life, and I mean, there's just so many different aspects that you can draw upon that just make you wonder, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
Got
Yeah.
a sweet. Got a sweet.
Get a sweet. Get a sweet. Get a sweet. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's just. I'm just reading that chat there. The others, I think, were living or ghosts and the spirits. Yeah, I mean that's another thing that's quite possible, that yeah, we're the ghosts, haunting another world sort of thing.
The thing is, everything I've said, is fanciful. It's you can't prove it. It's just an interesting story. It doesn't, it wouldn't provide proof of anything.
Yeah,
But at the same time, people, if they've had their own experiences enough times, they'll kind of start to think, well, hang on, yeah, I'm going to go with that.
yeah,
And it's something you'll never be able to prove to anybody else.
no,
You can say, well, I had this thing happen to me, and then I knew an event was going to happen before time. Deja vu.
Yeah.
I kind of realized something was going to happen and change the outcome. Yeah. I think that does happen. I've had
Oh,
it many times.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It just it makes you wonder, like, again, like, how we I mean, how to, some people react to these things quite differently than others, or some people will go, well, it's it's nothing, and they move on, where some people really go, wait a sec here. Okay, things wait, did you just experience what I just did? That was totally weird. And they will really dive into what just happened. Where a lot of people just like skirt over it and say, yeah, whatever. I just okay.
Yeah.
It was kind
Yeah.
it was kind of weird, but it wasn't weird, right? you
Uh,
know?
in families, they say, "Oh, you remember the story about how this happened?" And you know, we can't explain it. Spooky
Yeah.
thing that happened. We knew that something was wrong. Somebody sensed something was wrong, and this happened. And people have got their own kind of ideas about these things,
Yeah.
and we're told, of course, none of this could be possible. We're in a physical world. There's no meta sort of spiritual background stuff going on. It's all upfront, and but I think there is something going on. Something more. There's something behind the scenes. We pick up the vibrations
Mhm.
of things that have happened or are going to happen. And I think you can send messages telepathically
Mhm.
into the future and the past, and change things. You can actually change things. I do believe in this.
No, no, I agree. I do believe it, and it's a matter of just trying to understand exactly how and what sort of level that one would be able to sort of patch into and understand it. I mean, is it a frequency thing, or is it just like, I don't know. It's just so tough to understand. And eh, I mean, people sit there and go, "Oh, well, you're weird." Well, no, no, this is normal. You're weird if you don't buy into it, because I mean, shit does happen. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, if I did tell a story about taking antibiotics years ago. Trimethoprim.
Yeah.
Um, I had a urinary tract infection again
Hmm.
years ago. I took this antibiotic, and for 3 days on the trot, I had a very sort of like garish dream
Hmm.
where somebody's face, a person I hadn't seen for a while, was kind of like going ha 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 ha, like a clown, sort of like
Hmm.
ha 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 ha,
Hmm.
doing this sort of stuff at me in the dream. And
Yeah.
then I woke up to the phone ringing. I pick up the phone, and it's a person that I just literally woke up from the dream is on the phone.
That's
That happened
insane.
3 days on the trot, and I put it down to the fact I was taking these, trimethoprim at the time.
That's
I'm taking
insane.
I'm taking antibiotics now, which is, again, I had this weird experience on the weekend, and
Hmm.
it's, I don't know, antibiotics and weird sort of feelings and things happening. Yeah.
It is weird.
Mm.
Yeah, and again, I mean, obviously people react to antibiotics than others. Some people have more of an effect than others do.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't think I don't really, when I'm on them, I don't really have that kind of, I guess, effect that you do. I mean, I do have, obviously side effects, but I mean, yeah, that's weird. That's
Yeah,
really,
I don't know what it is in the drug, but yeah, it just seemed to trigger something, and yeah,
it's another thing too. Is like, you know, I don't know so much with antibiotics, but maybe there are certain things in some of these antibiotics that can actually trigger some sort of a response, uh, or some sort of reaction in the brain that kind of opens up something that you obviously, that most of us just really don't know, like a part of the brain that we're not used to using,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. It's just, I mean, if they warn you that you can have mood altering effects, and you can have
Yeah.
suicidal thoughts,
Mhm.
so they do know that there are some effects that are not just dealing with the viruses that are going on. There are mental effects as well,
Mhm.
with the drugs. So whatever's in them is affecting people in that way, and they warn people about if you might have mood swings. People may see a change in your personality. They may see you may have suicidal thoughts. Da, 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 da. There's a list of things they warn you about, and
Mhm.
if you're kind of like ADHD, it may trigger certain things. It's yeah, it's yeah. So
Yeah. Well, it does it, and again, it comes into play. Like, Matt, is it worrisome to you that maybe one day that you take these sort of a certain antibiotic that maybe that you've never taken before, and you have something, a really bad sort of, I don't want to say trip, but experience that is, so visually intense, or experience intense, that you're like, oh, okay, you know?
yeah. Well, I've not hallucinated on them, but
No,
I
no,
was
neither
I
have
was
I.
oh I was so I was nearly delirious the other day when I was walking around
Mhm.
and sweating.
Yeah.
Caused me to sweat, and I was like, oh, and I was starting to see double vision.
Mhm.
Um, my eyes were wandering, and I was like, oh, just don't go out on the edge of don't go close to the edge of a building.
No.
When we were walking on the roof, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to stay back from this because I just don't trust myself."
Yeah, you never
At the
know. Yeah.
moment, yeah, I'm not 100%. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, that too. I mean, like, you're going out on an explorer. You're, in some cases, some of the locations you need to have, your full wits about you, because one bad, one wrong move and bang,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Peop-
changing into a werewolf. They're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Um, well, um, I've been quite chilled on this stuff. I've taken my beta blockers, with it, and it's been okay. But I
How
think
how do you feel about beta blockers?
I like them actually. They're good.
Yeah, you're fine with them, because I know a lot
Yeah,
of people don't like taking beta blockers.
really. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Or is it alpha blockers I'm thinking of? One
yeah,
of the two. One of the two. Alpha or beta blockers.
yeah. Well, I've got a large adrenaline thing going on. So if I don't take the beta blockers and something triggers me,
Mhm.
I basically get into a sort of like panic attack state where I'm kind of
Oh,
hyperventilating, and
gotcha.
my heart is racing, and yeah, you're trying to go to sleep and your heart is going like
A
10 to the
mile a
dozen,
day. Yeah.
boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, and it's, so I take him for that, but, yeah, I quite like them. They reduce me back to a normal state as opposed to, the thing I call it's like, without them, I am the werewolf. I am
Mhm.
Mr. Adrenaline. I'm
Yeah.
like really spiky and sort of like, full of energy yeah,
Anthony, I spikes your heart rate.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I guess I think with taking like any medication, I think most people always look at the side effects and the long term effects with them. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if it makes you it gives you that sense of normality, then yeah, I guess it's worth taking, right? You
yeah, and certainly for doing lectures and TV appearances and things like that, where I would my heart would be so beating so fast, and I would be almost sweating and not able to sort of like hold one thought in my mind. It'll just be like thoughts just pop 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 in my
yeah.
head, and yeah, it just calms that down. So yeah,
Yeah, it's insane. It's really insane. It's
yeah,
insane that the things that we got to do to feel a sense of normality. You
yeah.
know, especially when you get older, right? Uh, that's that's
Yeah.
the scary part because I never thought I'd ever talk about shit like this, or have to experience shit like this. But that obviously the time comes as you get older. But it's like, holy crap, you know, what the hell?
Well, I mean, I always used to panic when I was doing exams and things at school,
Yeah,
and I wonder if I had my beta blockers, like I've done exams recently, aircraft exams and things, and I do okay because my mind is calm and I
mm,
can focus on a particular thing, and had I had beta blockers back then, maybe I would have done a bit better because my brain was just revving up, and too much going on, and couldn't settle down on a particular thought. It's just sort of over revving, basically. Yeah.
yeah, like how would it? How do you think it would be different if, like, for instance, going on an explore? Do you think you'd be very stressed out?
I don't take them unless I think there's going to be a risk of meeting security and police.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but if the police turn up, I will take one
yeah.
because I know then that by the time I meet the police, I'll be calm, and I'll
Okay.
just chat calmly to them, and I'll feel calm, and and that sort of stuff. But yeah, otherwise,
Well, because I know, certain beta blockers and alpha blockers, they usually take, weeks before they kick in. But I guess that's
oh no, no, um, you might be confusing SSRIs. They're
maybe.
yeah, SSRIs are the dopamine things. They take a while to kind of kick in, and then you can't come off them straight away. Um, Technically, they say you shouldn't stop taking beta blockers. If you're on them, you should be on them and stay on them.
Mm,
However, I just take them when I need them. If I know I'm going to have a stressy day, I'll take one.
mm,
And if I'm just doing normal things, I won't need to. You know, the downside of taking them is that it makes you less able to kind of do exertion things because
mm.
that's when the adrenaline would kick in to raise your heart rate to make you run and do things. But I think my system has always kind of it's gone into overdrive. So instead of just kind of if I was jogging, I would
Yeah.
feel like I was dying. You
Mhm.
know, because my heart would just be like doing 10 to the dozen. It would just be like overdoing it. And jogging on beta blockers is actually more sort of like, well, that's more where you should be. So I think my adrenaline is it's not set up the same way as other people's. I get more adrenaline than I should for every single task.
It'd be worse if they put you on Ritalin, right? Jogging, you'd be like, you feel like you're in slow motion.
What's Ritalin? Is it like
it's for
amphetamine speed?
Yeah, like calm people down with ADHD and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of, I know one person who's on it. Well, I know a couple, but one person who was on it, it just literally like they were like slow.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, this is crazy, and the reaction is slow. It's like slow mo. I'm like, wow, maybe you need to, cut back and not have that high of a dose. Maybe like if you're that fucking slow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's just one of those things. I found out about it when I was about 35 years old. That that worked for me, and I've stuck with them. Since. It's kind of like a daily thing. If I need it, I'll take it. It's really, really good.
Kind of like I kind of like something I need when I go into the doctors. It's like I fucking have white coat syndrome.
Oh.
It's like, ooh, I don't like going in there. Because you overthink. You overthink, and it never turns out to be as bad as you think. But I mean, thankfully, but you overthink. They take your blood pressure. Oh, it's kind of high there. Do you think you got high blood pressure? No, I've got white coat syndrome.
Fly going right here.
Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, and then I guess kind of leads into the whole certain things that they experimented with. Back in the day, we'll say between the 40s and the 60s and into the 70s, and seeing what kind of reaction the human mind would have. I mean, psychedelics and so on and so on. And I mean, what do you think? I mean, the whole sort of LSD sort of thing, and all this, psyops that was going on, and the fact that they were thinking that quite possibly a lot of these drugs are opening up the mind to better understand what is going on, like in terms of intelligent life and the paranormal and so on and so on, and psychological warfare, if you will.
Yeah, well, I think these drugs show you a different side of your sensory system. You see more colors, you hear more sound, and you feel more emotion. You go into different areas, and I think kind of it tells you that there's more that you could be seeing and could be experiencing, and that the body is kind of like filtering a lot of that down, so you get a kind of more metered experience. I think that's why they don't want people doing them, is because they kind of they get access to things that may make them think different things that they wouldn't normally think. It's kind of, if you're seeing things you wouldn't normally see, and you're hearing things you wouldn't normally hear. Kind of you rejudge. You kind of like you take a new look at life, and you reevaluate everything you thought you knew from a new perspective. And yeah, when you kind of from a societal point of view, if you've got people and they're like baked in china pots, they're baked in and
Yeah.
they're a particular shape and they do a certain thing, you don't want them sort of like suddenly becoming pliable again and changing into something different, that thinks differently. So yeah, I think that's why they don't want people taking drugs, because you kind of you're reevaluating the whole thing that you grew up and learned through your life.
Yeah.
Your whole existence, your being. What's it all about?
And Mark Urbex is, saying DMT is the new thing. Yeah, I think DMT has been around for a while. But more and more, there's clinical trials now. And in fact, somebody we both know, Frank Triggs,
Yeah.
was doing DMT, and you know, so yeah, it's. I mean, are they? It's like maybe they already know what's going on. They just want to like be reassured of what's going on. I don't know. It's just it's. I mean, things like DMT, because I mean, you look at the natural sort of state forms, stuff like peyote and stuff like that give you high amounts of DMT, and you're quite literally um, in a life altering state for
Mm.
many hours, and you sit there, and obviously the natives will tell you it's a form of finding yourself,
Yeah.
right? And you go, but is it really a form of finding yourself or unlocking answers that maybe you aren't supposed to know? And maybe that's, but I don't understand why they would do these DMT tests. Then, if that was the case, right?
Well, if you imagine that you've already come to certain conclusions in your framework of what you believe, I think DMT and tryptamines and
Mm-hmm.
things that make they basically make you challenge those things and see
Yeah,
them from a different perspective. They turn them into something different,
yeah.
and um, yeah, so it forces you to kind of reevaluate your existence and what you think and how you think, and it's very hard to explain if you haven't done any psychedelics, what they do. But they kind of they show you that there's more out there, there's more things that could be going on, there's um more experiences that could be had. And whether they're self-generated, imaginational things, or whether or not they're real things, you have to decide. That's the challenge of doing it and coming back with something that you can kind of work with, if there is something to be gained from doing these things.
Well, I
uh,
remember. I remember what in my early 20s, and going on a peyote trip, if you will. And that lasted for nearly 14 hours.
mm, yeah.
Nearly 14 hours. And when you're in that state, that 14 hours doesn't feel like 14 hours. It literally feels like maybe just minutes. And it's weird, the amount of information that you collect
Mm,
in what seemingly just minutes, but is actually 14 hours, because you simply can't tell time. I mean, time is all but lost when you're in that state, and the information that your mind collects is quite different from the information that the mind retains.
yes.
And people don't understand that. You there's so much there that, quite possibly it doesn't matter how smart or how much of the brain you use, you simply can't retain that if the brain is thinking it's only, seconds or minutes that it's having to collect this information,
Yeah.
right?
And a lot of the stuff seems like it's outside the normal confines of what your brain is prepared to accept.
Yeah.
If you imagine your brain or can hear volume from 0 to 100, yes, in normal circumstances, and then you take something and then you can hear from 100 to 200.
Yeah.
You've got this whole new like level of hearing that you can have. Yeah. Well, what you hear at those levels is very hard to translate back down later on, because
Absolutely.
your normal brain says, yeah, but I don't deal with that. That doesn't sort of compute. It's just, it's like a foreign language. So whilst you're in that state, it makes perfect sense, and things become, wow, I understand. This is amazing. I've got a revelation, and then it's very hard to bring it back, because it's kind of like it won't fit into the the jigsaw, or the mind, that space that is more confined. Perhaps another a way of looking at it would be like colors.
Yeah.
So, if we could see down into the infrared spectrum and up into the X-ray spectrum, and higher, we could see those things in certain states, perhaps. But the brain would then say, but I can't process that. That's not what I'm not designed to do that. So it's kind of like, you can handle that information now, but later on I can't store it. You can kind of have a glimpse of it. You kind of kind of an understanding of it.
Yeah.
But you can't have the actual raw it.
No.
Because it's too big to fit in somehow.
Yeah. Hey, Barry. How are you? Barry Storms. How are you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's intriguing. Naturally being able to sort of dive into that realm, if you will, as opposed to having needing something to sort of give you that boost, if you will, to find that the gateway, if you will, to sort of experiencing that realm. I mean, everything from musicians to scientists to everything else, they all have this sort of, well, I if it wasn't for tapping into that realm, I wouldn't be able to write this song, and this song would non-exist. It wouldn't exist if I just didn't have that, and it's really, really intriguing to it's like somebody tapping into like that now into AI, maybe, even though AI is pretty much, filtering human activity and literally just putting it into sort of into context. But I mean, still it can bring perspective that even though it's within the confines of the human understanding, it may seem foreign, so foreign.
Yeah.
Storms
ask, how am I feeling? Well, I feel like I have for the last several days. I'm just kind of fluffy, and when I have a drink, it makes me even more fluffy. So I'm kind of just like, hello.
He's the poster boy for the Mandela effect now. Yeah, no.
Yeah. the other thing that happens, I'm not allowed to eat cheese. I'm not allowed to have
Dairy.
dairy products. I'm not allowed to
Yeah.
calcium, anything
Yeah.
with vitamin K in it. There's all sorts of things they're not supposed to do. So,
Vitamin K, because it will lower your heart rate even more.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but I mean, I do take that as a supplement, but I can't take any of that. So
Vitamin K, most people don't understand. It's what it does is it actually cleans your arteries.
really,
Yeah, it cleans your arteries, and it actually decreases your heart rate. Right.
Okay.
They did several studies with Japanese. The Japanese culture, because a lot of the Japanese, they eat a lot of fermented soybean,
Yeah.
and that's one of the highest sort of forms of naturally of vitamin K, and they were noticing that it actually cleansed the arteries. Right. The only problem with it is if you take a supplement, that if you have some sort of blockage, you stand the chance of it actually moving somewhere else and actually completely blocking. That's the only issue, but I think that's a rarity for that to even happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, people don't realize their deficiencies in certain types of vitamins and things. You can have tests done. Vitamin D is the big one that people should really look into, because they either have too much vitamin D or too little vitamin D.
Yeah,
and you can get a test done.
absolutely.
And it, sort of, if you're deficient, then you should take some. There are tests out there, but I mean, like, nobody talks about this stuff. It's just like, you just live your life, you eat your food, and if something goes wrong, you take these tablets. It's like, but what about kind of seeing what my equilibrium level is and where I'm at and which bits is deficient, so I can fill those in. Society doesn't seem to be that interested in doing that. Medicine.
No, I mean, if anything, vampires are probably the most likely to take vitamin D or need it. If you're not getting exposure to, certain things that are, vitamin D inducive, it's just, it's a wonderful thing to have. And I mean, just the effects it has on your overall health. Vitamin D is very, very important. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'll open this up a little, Matt.
Okay.
Of course, we'll just
open it up, but can you give me a minute to pop to the you know what?
You go for it.
Yeah.
You go for
back.
it, Matt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, go for it. And if anybody else wants to pop on up, by all means, you're more than welcome to come on. And I'll just pin it to the top or the bottom. Now the bottom. The bottom. It hurts so bad. I think. Yeah, so do I. Anthony. That's what I do. I vitamin D and K2. Because they actually work well together. One absorbs the other. Very, 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 very cool. And it's vitamin K is I think is almost like a wonder drug of sorts. Again, you have to be like everything else. You have to be careful, and the dosage, and most people are afraid to increase their dosage. And let's see, hold on. American medicine has a problem. Yeah, absolutely, Barry. Absolutely. I will, like I said, I have been on antibiotics 10 times this year, and I absolutely refuse. Well, I shouldn't say I refuse, but I try my damnedest to fucking manage my issue, right, and not have to go on antibiotics. because it's just yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's just yeah, you don't want to be on it too much. It's not good for you. Yeah, the side effects are the issues. Yeah, always treating the symptoms, exactly. And that's my situation now, but like I said, I know what's going on. It's I need to have absolute certainty that that's the issue, and I have to have, I don't know, I don't want to say surgery, but quite possibly I might have to have surgery to correct the scenario. I mean, I had surgery 10 years ago almost for this, and it made my life, so much better. I'm just hoping that we can kind of get by without having to go through surgery again. But if that's the case, then so be it. I just want it dealt with. I'm sick and tired of having to go on antibiotics when really, something can be done on a different level. So, yeah, wipe everything good and bad. They do, and especially you really have to pay attention to your gut health with antibiotics, your digestive system, and that's why they tell you many times when taking these antibiotics that you should be taking it with food and lots of water. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah, Barry, I agree. I mean, this year has been a total write-off for me. I've never ever experienced this amount of sickness. Yeah, this year has been just absolutely crazy for me. So like the sooner the better, and getting this thing fucking totally. But I gotta wait. God knows how long I gotta wait to get in to see the other fucking the other surgeon to get this dealt with. So I don't know. I do not know. Welcome back, Matt.
Yeah. What are you waiting for, surgery-wise?
I had and I'll be transparent about it. I mean, I had reconstructive surgery almost 10 years ago. I had a stricture in my urethra.
Oh, yeah.
And it literally grew to only a pinhole left. Scar tissue. Strictures are scar tissue that grow, and
Yeah.
they're very, very, very tough to get rid of.
So was it making it hard for you to pee?
Literally, complete blockage.
No.
So, there's reconstructive surgery that they can perform, which I had. And oh my God, thank God, when that was over and done with, everything was great. Now what's happening is that area where they had the reconstructive surgery, where they implanted mucous membrane from the mouth, right?
Yeah.
And basically that mimics the canal, right? And quite literally that has grown, and it's closing up, and it's not it's like a slit. It's not a pinhole, but a slit. So I mean, I'm not experiencing frequency problems or anything like that. What's happening is it's collecting the gunk in my bladder, like the bacteria is collecting. Right? Hey John, how are you? Good to see you, Mr. Bengal.
Hey, John Bengal.
Yeah. So quite literally what's happening is if I'm not drinking enough water and I'm not flushing this out, it bang. It's like over and over and over again. So that's essentially what's happening.
UTIs.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've had UTIs since being a kid. I've had a UTI. I remember when I was like 10.
Yeah.
And I've 10, like 20, and then like 30, just a lot more as I've got past 30, been a lot of urinary infections.
That goes with with aging. I mean, and then
Yeah.
you have issues with kidney stones, right?
Mm.
That's another proponent of UTIs, right? They can cause UTIs.
Yeah.
So I mean, they thought that's what they thought. What was wrong with me this round? That it might be kidney stones, but there's no kidney stones. And then they go to the prostate. The prostate's fine, and because when they do the culture, it's always the same thing. It's a bacterial infection.
Yeah.
So
it's like chicken and egg. There's a kidney stone that's blocking something. It's sitting there, and because that's blocking something, it's getting infected.
Yeah.
So then they give you antibiotics to get rid of the infection.
Yeah.
And then everything goes away, and it's happy, and you can, you don't get these like urinary problems, like feeling like stinging when you're peeing and needing to pee all the time and all that sort of stuff, and that goes away. And it's like, but then it comes back again, and it's like, well, didn't it kill it all? Where's it living? Where does it go? Where, it's like, does it kill it or does it not kill it? If it kills it, it's gone, but it comes back. It's like it's back again. So it's like, and I was thinking the pain I was getting was from the actual physical shape of the kidney stones, like jagged sort of stones. It probably wasn't. It was the irritation of the UTI.
That's probably exactly
infection.
what it was.
Yeah. That was what was causing the pain, not the kidney stone itself. It was the secondary thing.
They're fucking they're a pain in the ass, because I mean, all sorts of shit can happen. Like obviously with bacteria, they can create what's called a biofilm.
Yeah.
And quite literally, it's like a protective dome where the antibiotics will work, but the thing is, it won't fully kill the bacteria because they're protected. And then within time, it's like within days, if you don't kill that sort of stuff in the biodome, they're going to wreak havoc again.
Yeah.
So
yes, I don't understand what it is, but I'll take the antibiotics and see what happens, and we'll go from there. But good fun.
I know, it's all
Good
about
fun.
getting older, and this shit happens more often, man.
Yeah.
It's like I never thought I'd say, well, cranberry juice is my best friend. What? Yeah. Cranberry? I hate cranberry juice, so I resort to fucking a cranberry tablet.
Yeah, I quite like cranberry juice. It's like that sort of bitter, sort of like dry taste. I quite like it.
I don't know. I just could never get used to the flavor.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. Because most of the time they give you a generic antibiotic rather than the test. And that's the thing, that's the problem. They give you an antibiotic, and it's not even sensitive to the type of bacteria, because they do the culture after the fact.
Yeah.
So you're taking an antibiotic that's not working. Oh, quick stop and take this one. This one works.
They do the rounds, don't they? They're like, well, try this, then we'll try this, and we'll try this, and all these things are sort of like so broad spectrum. Now you're probably reducing your immune system's ability to deal with
the thing.
A lot of other things, So oh well.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. You're like, oh wait a sec. Well, it's not working. They've probably become resistant to this antibiotic. Well, no frigging guff. You take it enough times, of course it's going to happen. A test and a generic antibiotic, so it's safe. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, you should have the fucking the in this case urine culture done before they give you the antibiotics, and it should be done right away. I don't see why they couldn't do that, and I'm pretty sure they do it right away, but I don't know. They usually make you wait a couple days.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it tested positive for UTI, and it's the same bacteria, and yeah, the antibiotics you're taking are okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, thank you for telling me after the fact.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? I feel better, but I'm okay. While taking the antibiotics, and then, like 7 days later, after after you finish the antibiotics, it's like we're back to square one.
Yeah. It's
What
exactly
the
what.
fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't want to bore people by saying, like, how it's going. It's like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Back on the antibiotics.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
It's like it's just running around and around. Yeah.
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 It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, with you, what obstruction? Because you're having issues with the kidney stone, and yeah, me, it's the same thing. It's obstruction, but it's not kidney stones. It's actually, just that area where I had the surgery is closed up a bit. Fuck, you can't win. Oil of oregano is very powerful. It does work, but it doesn't work on UTIs. It just doesn't work on UTIs. I've been taking oil of oregano for fucking 30 years, man. It does a great job on colds and when you're sick and shit like that. But yeah, if anything, what it does is it actually, if you feel a cold coming on, and you start taking the oil of oregano, it kind of speeds up the cold's process, and it kind of goes through you quicker, right? Which is kind of cool. But yeah, it doesn't work very well for UTIs. I mean, it's good for the digestive system, but then again, you need to take a probiotic to sort of help the digestive system with the oil of oregano, because it's pretty fucking powerful. And here we are. We turned into a fucking a witch doctor hour.
Yeah.
Could the aliens foresee this, Matt?
Wow. Yeah, War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
We're lucky we've got these bacteria, because yes, what happened there?
Yeah, bacteria are clever fuckers. They are indeed. That's what I mean. The whole biofilm thing. I'm like, wow, they're fucking intelligent, man. Like, wow. They can protect themselves. Oh, crazy shit. It's time to send in the nanoparticles to take care of the bacteria, right? Clean them up.
Yeah.
Take over your body. Wow. We've been AI'd. Matt, my turn. Hold the fort for a few minutes.
Okay, right. What have we got then? I can't bring anything up on the thing, but I'll say, look through the chat and see who's in. Daz the 84's in. Nocturne, yeah. David Moriarty. Mark Urbex. Fred's Audio Lab. He says, I'm all coffeeed up. Yeah. Admiral Audacity. Yes. And what else we got? We got Vitage Just Run. Yes. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Donna 54321. Right, yeah, hello. And Hey, Mick Spanner, Mr. Spanner's in there. Oh, right, I didn't realise Mick was in the chat. There we go. Ghost Quest HQ. Let's have a look. Yeah. Any other names? Richard Hattersley. Richard Hattersley is in. Anthony, I am. Yeah. So, nice to see you all. Thanks for popping by. Yeah. Fredo's Audio Lab. Yeah. So, name I'm not familiar with, but nice to see you. Chemical Knee Rub. That rings a bell, but yes. Hello. Let's have a look down. Scrolling down, who's in? Storm Radios, obviously. Yes. Mr. John Bengal is lurking in the background. Yes, Mr. John Bengal. Hello. And yeah. Yeah, he's talking about whether or not they what sort of tests they do. I mean, I said this to the doctor. I said, well, I'm giving you a urine sample, and you're telling me that there is something showing up. So, what is it? And they said, well, we don't look into what it is. We just know it's there. And it's like, okay, so they don't specify what it is. And it's like, well, would it be more prudent to kind of like find out exactly what it is, and then maybe you could try to trace back why that might be there, and a better way to kind of handle a specific thing, rather than just saying, oh, we know something's there, so we'll just give it a broad spectrum of all the types of things that kill everything. They don't seem to want to do these, like, detailed tests, unless maybe you pay for it, or I don't know, there's a special case scenario where you get a special test. They just say, give us a sample, we sent it off, yes, you've got something there, we don't know what it is, but here's some antibiotics. It's like, surely there should be some sort of like narrowing down to say what the thing is.
Over here, now they're really pushing privately, because I mean, obviously most stuff is covered under the universal healthcare bit, but now a lot of these private clinics are really pushing full body MRIs. I don't know if if they're really pushing them over there, but apparently they do a really good job at locating stuff. Like, I'm sure you guys probably have something over there with that, because I mean, I know here if you go through the healthcare system, you're waiting forever to get an MRI done. Right? But these private clinics, you pay X amount of dollars. It's probably not a lot. It's probably a couple $100 or something. It's a lot, but not a lot. To have this test done, within weeks, rather than months to whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's you sit there and you go, there's an issue, and you figure these people would, be able to tell you, give you a fucking straight answer. And it's always, Well, this is unusual. You should be getting these quite, I don't know. Okay, well, give me the possibilities of what's doing this. Well, I don't want to speak for the urologist, but fuck it, just lay it on the line. I don't give a shit. I just want to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, full body scans. They have private owned ones. Yeah, they have tons in the States. And now there's many of them up here now in Canada. And you hear them advertised all the time. So yeah. And apparently, like I said, these scans really do find a lot of stuff, obviously. So given that they, fucking penetrate right through you, so I don't know. It's an option. I don't know. And I've actually considered getting it done because, I want to go what the hell like exactly is going on, and I'd love to like just sort of fucking get it dealt with. So I don't know.
Well, yeah. Anyway, we're very far from ghosty stuff, but yeah,
from the Mandela effect.
Yeah, from the Mandela effect, but yeah,
Mandela effect.
It is something that I've noticed though. A couple of times when I've been at extreme states of exhaustion and like really run down, that I've had some sort of like weird, mad, mystical, spiritual things happen. It's like at your lowest ebb, something happens, boom, and then yeah, because I remember when I was a lot younger, I had chicken pox, and I was sort of 7 months. I was like in bed with chicken pox.
Yeah.
I sort of like I was, at death's door, basically being fed, with a straw, and it wasn't clever, but yeah. There was a moment, when I sort of felt that you turned a corner, and yeah, it's weird sort of like sensation that's like hard to explain. I had some unusual experiences, and yeah, I think I think I sort of lost my fear of death through being that ill. Yeah, it was unusual time, but yeah.
And that's obviously a huge sort of aspect when you're able to sort of not fear the the outcome, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's just
I sit there, and when you were talking about all sorts of weird stuff that has happened, and the kind of state of mind that you have been in and can be in, and you think about some of the places that you go to and you explore them, and the history that a lot of these places have. And wouldn't it be kind of, I don't know, interesting or intriguing that when you're in one of those locations that all of a sudden you have a sort of a notion or a feeling or I don't know, I don't want to say deja vu, but like this place, the familiarity of the place, like you've been there before, and you kind of search the place, and you're like, I do remember this being here, and I think that'd be really cool. But it's just like, but you remember it when it was active, when it was alive, when it was still in use and not abandoned.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like abandoned places for that reason. Trying to kind of like feel the vibes of what was there, but it's usually better at night as well if you're kind of sitting down and doing a ghost session or something. But yeah, you can really sort of like imagine the people that would have been running around and doing things in some places, and yeah, it's kind of you're standing in a position where somebody was moving equipment around and doing things, and I'm thinking, it's putting yourself back in that person's shoes, doing that role. It's nice to kind of like let your mind wander and think what those things were like. But yeah.
Well, I think it just gives you, I guess, more of a complete perspective on scenarios. And like you said, when you went through that period where you lost your fear of death, or something like this, it kind of gives you more information about the possibilities on a whole of some of these places.
Excuse me, I'm gonna...
Yeah, no problem, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's you never know, man. It just David asked if I'd ever experienced any strange shit. I think I live in strangeness, man. Some of the stuff that I've experienced over the years that has made me wonder. Part of the reason why for the longest time that I've been researching and investigating the paranormal, because I want to know more about that strange shit. I want to know. I want to try to explain it as to what exactly it might be, and it's the hardest thing to do, right? Strange shit, I mean, is pretty much anything, Vit. Strange, like anything out of the ordinary that happens to you on a daily basis, something that you would consider, not normal, and just like totally unexplainable. And I think a lot of people in this world have had those experiences. And like I said earlier, a lot of them just, don't really pay heed to them. Just, shove them in the drawer and move on. Like nothing happened. But me, it's like, what just happened? And I know, Matt, you're like that too. Like, you have something strange happen to you, you're gonna, think logically about this and go, what just happened? Something weird. I just don't understand. I want to understand. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if I get a strange feeling at a place, I will normally note it down, in my mind, and sort of say, yeah, okay, that's sort of like and it might sort of make me want to go and look into it more, you know, something as a specific thing. But you I often wonder whether I'm being, you know, whether the thoughts are being like whispers in your ear from the ghost world, or whether or not it's your own thoughts. You know, it's kind of like when you're in some places, it's like, but as I say, I don't do the ghost side of things on my channel. I stick to just exploring and not trying to look into the other side of things. But yeah, I mean, remote viewing, that's something I'm definitely wanting to start doing some remote viewing. I think I should knuckle down and get into that, because I know we can travel throughout the universe, through time and space. I fully believe this, you know. You can ask questions and you can have answers, and remote viewing is a good key technique too.
There's a lot of controversy with remote viewing too, but I mean, yeah, it is cool. I knew I knew a group that that was their platform. They would practice at home remote viewing and going into locations and trying to read them from, you know, far away. Obviously, they, you know, before going into the location. So yeah, it's always been an intriguing thing.
Got Mr. John Bengal.
Mr. Bengal,
how are you doing?
Hello.
Sir?
How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm doing well. Matt, sorry, I fell asleep last night. That's why I didn't come up.
Oh, no worries, mate. No worries.
Yeah. Have you ever come across the human mutilation subject? No, I've never come across a human mutilation. Like personally, no, never a case. I mean, I've read about several cases over the years, but in fact, you know, somebody quite close to me was they were working on a TV series called Beyond, and they were really you know, they dove into that one that that was going on in the big case in Brazil years ago. I think that was in the early 90s. I don't know if you remember that one, Matt. The corpse that had they found on the beach, and they quite literally thought it was a, you know, a human mutilation case. And I think a lot of people kind of discount it and kind of explain it, but I, like I said, I don't know. I'm not an expert in that sort of field. So hey, Tom, how's it going? Laura, how are you? So I don't know. How about you, John? You ever had any weird stuff happen to you?
I've had a few, yeah. Yeah, I think I've discussed it before with you guys. Yeah, had a few things. Yeah, some weird shit goes on. Can't discuss. I can't understand it as such. I can't prove anything with it. You know, definitely something defies logic. I'm quite logical, as you know, and the things that have happened, I'm like, I'm one of these people. Like, okay, so like for example, you know, haunting, whatever. Like, if a door opens for no reason, you think, well, why has it done that? Is it wind? Is it, you know, is there some vibration? Is, you know, you go through the whole situation, and I've done that as well on a few occasions actually, and have come to the conclusion that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. You know, if a door opened somewhere, or which has caused the wind to go through and open this door, and it didn't, and it was like, and it was freaky as well, and it was It shit me up at the time, but I think the adrenaline then was like, right, okay, I want to know what's going on here. I want to know. You know,
Yeah,
and you start testing things. You start thinking, right, okay, well, is it this? Is it that? Is it atmospheric? Because you can have things which cause atmospheric stuff causes other bits, and it wasn't. So I'm like, and it's paranormal. I can't. I don't like. I'm still quite skeptic in regards to ghosts, but fairly recent experience. Yeah, I mean, fairly recent experiences. I'm swaying to the. Yeah, there is something there. I can't deny it. You know, I've gone through my logical explanation. I've spoken to people, and I'm like, I can't explain it.
So I ask a lot of people who do a lot of urban explorers, especially people that like Matt and yourself, that go into a lot of these historical places, like places that have like a rich in history, and you're like, if these walls could talk, and then all of a sudden they, some weird thing kind of, and you hear that quite often. You hear something weird happening, and most explorers will just say, yeah, it's they don't think of the paranormal sort of aspect, other than that was just weird, whatever the hell that was, right? And I mean that's perfectly fine, because I mean, most of them aren't in there for the to investigate or look at the paranormal aspects. They're there to just take pictures and just document the location and just experience it as a whole, right? I mean,
I haven't really, obviously doing exploring. Like, very rarely have I come across something like that. I mean, I remember one is it Tinton Manor, Matt? The one with the Freemason place. When we're all exploring it.
Birmingham?
Yeah.
Yes.
Birmingham or Manchester? The one we got burnt down recently.
Woolton Hall?
That's it, Woolton Hall. Yeah, that's
Woolton
the one.
Hall, yeah.
Yeah, Woolton Hall. So when we were in there, I don't know if you remember, we were all in there. We're in the big foyer bit, where all the chairs and we were just. And I swear blind that I heard something in that they had a big staircase where the phone box was. No one else heard it, and we were just minding our own business and and joking around with. I swear blind, I heard a voice, and that shit me up. And I'm like, did you hear that? And then I think no, nothing. I'm like, no, definitely in that like foyer bit where you go up the big staircase, and that was quite strange. And then obviously, I think Most Haunted had done it at some point and wrecked the place or whatever, and I thought nothing of it, to be fair, because I don't particularly show much credit on them. You know what I mean? But it was really weird, because it was the fact that we were all there was no one else in that building other than us, and we were the only ones in that room.
Yeah.
All of us were accounted for, and it was clear as day. Someone said hello or something like that, and I'm like, the fuck? And that shit me up, and I'm like, I want to go out of here now. So I think we did it. Oh no, it was very weird, And the only other one really is where we've done Armageddon in what's the name of the pub? He's haunted apparently, but we went in there, had a walk around with the owner, and the ballroom at the top, or whatever you want to call it. Everyone says this stuff happens on the stairs, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Nothing did happen on the stairs. Walked up, down, whatever. But you go into the upstairs part, and it's like set out for tables, chairs, whatever. And they're all packed away. They're out there. The atmosphere changed when I walked in. It went from being very normal to I walked in, and it got colder. But then I felt tingling in my hand, in my body, and I thought, that's weird. Does anybody else feel that? And I was really sort of taking too much notice. So me being logical, thinking, all right, well, I know what it's meant to be. I'll just walk back out again, and it changed. The atmosphere changed. I did it 3 times as an experiment. I did it 3 times. Walked in, walked out, walked in, walked out, walked in, walked out. And every single time I walked in and to the specific spot, I felt tingling. It was like more of like a the Birch's head. Yeah, that's the one. Thanks, Tazzy. It was made my sort of. It was like an electrical sort of weird thing in there, but only in that part. So I thought, well, it could be because the windows are really big and it's cold. You know, it was in October, so it's cold outside. You know, but to be fair, it wasn't that cold. But it wasn't that. It was only in a specific area. You know. And and another one. I haven't actually said this before. We were in the basement, and there's a bit where they used to keep bodies apparently. Before, obviously they had chillers and all that, and it's now just like a storeroom bit. I was in there with the owner. I was with Mel and Brady, and they'll tell you this as well. Mel and Brady will tell you this. Yeah. I'm standing next to the what's his name, the owner. He's just talking and just going, oh well, you know, blah blah, and I'm looking across. If you can imagine just a room, loads of junk there. There's an emergency light there. And I was just looking across and he was talking. And I thought that I thought he moved his arm. Because I saw, at the corner of my eye, I just saw something go across. Right to where he was. Like a streak, I don't know what it was. Like an arm or something. And I thought he put his arm up. I said, you just put your arm up? They went, no. I went, what? Yeah, all right. And then both Mel and Bray went, no, he didn't move. He was just talking. He was just standing there still talking. And that did actually shit me up. I was actually quite taken aback with it. I mean, Mel will tell you, and Bray said afterwards, because Mel said to me, that sort of knocked you a little bit there, didn't it? I went, yeah, because I didn't expect it. And things went through my mind. So I'm like, okay, so was it because I was looking at the light, the emergency light, and they have like a little green light on them. Mm-hmm. So obviously, if you look away, the streak, you know, sometimes you get a streak of light.
Yep.
But I was looking straight ahead, and I saw it. I wasn't like looking around. I was looking just straight ahead and over in the corner. So I ruled that out, and I don't know what it was.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of a lot of these things. It's
just like I can't discredit. When people say, "I'll see ghosts" and all this, I can't discredit. I mean, that's just 2 things that happened, but I can't discredit it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's stuff going on that we just can't explain, and I mean, obviously a majority of it we can explain, but I mean, yeah, there's stuff that no matter how much people will tell you, you just can't explain it. It's just very unexplainable, and I think that's the fun part of it. Just sitting there going, I know I had an experience. I know it was unusual. And nothing makes sense. Absolutely nothing makes sense when I try to explain it. So yeah,
And I do think there's different types of phenomenon as well. Especially with ghosts and other bits. You might see them all in whatever and transparent and all that. But I mean, I think there is different types of phenomena, especially with the dead or ghosts, however you want to put it. I mean. I think I said to you before about when I was probably at least 15, I think, and I used to do a paper round where I used to live, and part of where I used to go is like a little park, and there was a house which to this day still it backs onto the park, and there was a fence, and I knew the guy who lived there. His name was Cyril, and he used to always be in his garden early morning. Yeah, Cyril, lovely guy. He used to be in his overalls, and he's an old boy. He used to go out and he used to tend to his garden early morning, and I used to speak to him and all that, and call over the fence, just say hello. He's a friend of the family. And one day, it must have been about 8 because I was finishing my paper round, but I've sort of looked over. I've seen him, went over to sort of say hello. So I got the fence there, and he was sort of down the bottom of the garden, and I called out to him and didn't say nothing. He's in his overall, didn't say nothing. All I do is saw the back of him, nothing at all.
Yeah.
Thought, wow. And he's an old boy, so he's like, oh, he probably ain't heard me. He's deaf. So I'm like, I'll leave it. I'll go home. And I told me mum, and my mum went, well, you couldn't have seen him. I said, well, what do you mean I couldn't have seen him? And she went, well, we had a phone call earlier and he died. He was dead. He died. I said, I've literally just seen him in the garden. She said, well, you couldn't have. And that, to this day, still sticks with me, because I'm like, well, what did I see then?
Yeah, you hear that quite often. You hear that, somebody passing and somebody, spots them in a different area after they had passed away. It's like, wait a sec, that what? No way.
It couldn't. And he died like in the night, apparently. So
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Yeah. The thing what gets me is that it wasn't just like a glancing, oh, he's there, I'm gonna go. I shouted and said, hi, Cyril, how you doing? And it's just like he was standing there, and I thought, oh, he's deaf, and that's it. So it wasn't like I just saw him as a glancing thing, I just saw him and then I went off.
Yeah, that's weird. It just
he's really, and it doesn't worry me. I think it makes me want to know more.
Yeah.
How that mechanism works. Because I had no idea that he died. Nothing at all until I went home.
Yeah.
Normal day, I'd see him once, twice, 3 times a week out in his garden, and I did it in the morning.
Yeah, and even if it's, somebody you don't know or recognize, or, it just, you hear it all the time. You see people, or you see things that, I mean, it doesn't compute at first. You're like, because it's so unusual. You're like, or just so normal that your brain's computing it as being normal, and then it's all of a sudden, wait a sec. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. And then when that clicks in, you're like, okay, things go into overdrive. Wait a sec here. And depending on who you are and how you react to stuff like that, obviously, people are like, I'm out of here. I'm I'm gone. Or wait a sec. Like, who are you? You're not supposed to be here.
It was strange, because I literally was having an argument with my mother.
Yeah. And
saying, there's no way. You got it wrong. Someone said it must have been what, when did it happen? That's where I know when he died. But I'm like, well, who was that then? There was definitely no one there.
Yeah.
So it's like, fucking hell, what's going on there then?
And it always happens when you least expect it, right? I mean, it's obviously you're not expecting it. It's always in a situation where it usually happens so quick that you don't have time to process it right. You're like, wow, what the okay. Yeah. And it's like, too bad you didn't have like you can't patch into your brain or the visuals and kind of rewind and watch it again and wait, what the hell just happened? This is crazy.
And that's another reason why I have to explore why these things are happening or happened. I think I said to you before about where I used to work. There was a guy who died. He died of cancer, bowel cancer. Andy, his name was.
Yeah.
And the really weird thing was that he actually said, quite a long time before he passed away, before he even knew he had bowel cancer. He said, joking, because we always used to have a good laugh, and he said to me and a few others, he said, if I ever do die before you guys, I'll come back and fucking haunt you.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, right. Like we all do. It's just a jovial thing. You're just joking around and having a laugh, So Andy passed away. And where I worked with, it was a council, and I was on call. So basically, when the alarms go off, there's any other problems, they have a CCTV in that building, and they look after that. They look after half the town and all that. So I got called out.
Yeah.
And it had been Andy's funeral, so we'd gone to the funeral in the day. It had been very, very sad, very moving. Life goes on. So anyway, I got a call, and I'm like, all right. I come out, and because they said like the council chamber, there's lights pissing around. Can you come in and have a look? And yeah, all right. So this is like 11 o'clock at night, and I've gone down to the CCTV, talking to them and another guy who was with me, and they're saying, no, the lights keep flickering on and off, and like I said, they're on a timer. So, well, because the council chamber had been refurbished, right? But the thing they missed out was the automatic lights. So you had to go into the chamber right across the other side to turn the fucking lights on, because they screwed it all up. And they had so there was no automatic lights, no nothing. So we went up there because they kept going on and off and flickering and shit like that. So went up there just to see what's going on. Now I've got to state here, it was a clear night. There was no thunderstorm, no electrical storm, no nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just a normal summer's evening, believe it or not. It's quite hot, if I remember as well. Anyway, so we've gone up there, and these lights are flashing on and off. Sort of randomly flashing. Well, I thought it was randomly flashing on and off. So they'd come on and they go off again. So I'm like, okay, we'll go over and we're literally, and there's a button, you press it, and it would turn them all off, and that will be done. So I've gone over to do that. And the guy who I was with, he went, it's probably fucking Andy. I went, yeah, right, oh yeah, whatever, joking around like. But turned it off, completely turned it off. We're walking back, and the lights come back on. And then they've gone back off again. And they've gone back on. And I went, and he's gone, fucking hell, probably is Andy. I went, yeah, right. I went, Andy, if that's you, turn the lights off then. And they went off. And I did it about 3-4 times. And I want to put them back on again then, son. And they were coming on at command, and I'm like, fucking shit. In the end of it, I'm like, right, I'm going now. I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going. We turned the light off, and we were walking out. And as we got to the threshold, the light come back on again.
Oh, wow.
We're like, I'm going now. That's it, nothing. So, logically, you'd think, oh, it's the automatic lights are fucking up and all that.
Yeah.
But they weren't, because they didn't have it installed. And in fact, they installed it probably about 6 to 8 months later.
Wow.
The weird thing was that happened, and as far as I know to this day, well, until they did the automatic, right, it never happened again. Ever. Right? And
that's crazy.
On top of that, the even stranger thing was they do the crematorium as well.
Yeah.
And they got called out same night, not me, it's the guys in the CC, same guy who was with me, got called out to the crematorium because the alarm's going off. Which isn't over unusual, but while the alarm's going off, it's all locked up, unless someone's broken in.
Yeah.
He's gone in there, and on the side was Andy's ashes sitting there.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, he was a bit, he was shocked because he saw it, although, working in that sort of thing, these things, you're going to come across it.
Yeah.
But it's like, he couldn't believe it. He literally phoned me and went, and this was late at night. He said, you're not going to fucking believe this. I went, what? Being called out, his ashes were on the side. I'm like,
wow.
I don't know what to make of it. Was it coincidence? Don't know.
Even so, that's just really weird, man. That's insane.
This is why I like to say I'm skeptic, but things like that I can't come to a logical conclusion as to why it was happening. Like I said, the lights. you know, they were on, they were off. But when I said it, they would go off and then they come back on again. When I said, come on, put them back on.
Responding to you.
Shit
Yeah.
myself.
Wow.
And it's never happened. It never happened. Well, as far as I know, it never happened again. No one ever mentioned it in that sense. But
that's insane.
You know, he's like, well, is there an afterlife then? Because the guy said, oh, if I die before you, it happened. And then he comes along and does it for a laugh. Because he was a bit of a joker, you know what I mean? Bless him, he was a fucking great joker.
Yeah.
Or was it just, oh, it's just coincidence, it just happened, oh, there was a fault. Well, you tell me what fault it was then? Because I could turn the lights off and I can turn them on. In fact, we turned them all on and then we turned them all off. Went to walk out, went to come back on again.
Turn back on, yeah.
And then it went on and off on command, but over 3 times.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, obviously, you know, kind of unexplainable. Hey, B, how are you? Good to see you. I mean, it's like one time, you know, here in the studio, like I said, I have this old war chest, black war chest that I bought. This thing is from World War II, I think. And I just keep DVDs and stuff inside it. And I remember coming into the studio one day in the middle of the day, and the DVDs, like the chest was wide open, and the DVDs that were inside it were piled nice and neatly on my desk here. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay, I just thought, okay, maybe it was my wife playing a joke or something. And I asked her, I said, what, did you do this? She's like, do what? I go, did you pile these DVDs here nice and neatly? No, I haven't even been in here. And I'm like, okay, there's nobody else in the house. You know, how the hell? Like, how do you explain something like that? Right? You just can't, unless somebody has a key to the house and snuck into your house, and you know, just to do that and left. I mean, why? You know, it makes no sense, none whatsoever.
No, I get that. I mean, because like you get like it doesn't matter where you live, you get vibration, you get bits and pieces, and so like from time to time, things might just fall over, or things might move that very small amount, and you think to yourself, okay, logically over time, if it's just been sitting there, it might have moved because of vibration or anything. What you're telling me, it's a bit fucking wrong. How the fuck is it going from a closed trunk to a table?
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, you know, I've had lots of subtle things happen here. And I mean, this house is probably, you know, it was built, you know, we bought it brand new. It was 24 years now. I mean, so to me, it's not so much the house, but maybe the land the house is sitting on, you know, it's part and parcel of something that, you know, might have happened. I don't know. But I mean, just subtle little things happen. Like,
it's strange in houses. I mean, the only thing I've had really in a house, my old house when I was married, I was downstairs once, and I had a Jack Russell just sitting on my lap. We're watching a bit of telly. There's no one else in the house. Yeah. Doors upstairs, I know we're all closed, everything else. And the dog pricked his ears up. I went, what's the matter? What can you hear, Ben? And he had, you know, you're thinking, oh, is there someone coming up the drive? And I can see out the window, there's no one there. And he's like, he's gone up, you know, he's gone looking upstairs, looking, and I'm like, what's the matter? And he just heard a noise upstairs, like a door like opening. It's like, well, there's no one there. And I've gone up there, door was closed, but definitely heard it. And to this day, I still don't know why. The only thing I can say to it as a caveat was, it turns out there was an old boy who lived down the road, and it turned out to be true. I didn't know this but a friend of mine who lived in the village also said this on a separate occasion. The house we lived in, well, I lived in at the time, there was an old couple and their son, and there was a dog they had. The son was a little bit deranged, and he killed the mother, I think it was, upstairs, and the father on the stairs.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And then he went over to the local. There's a big park, and there's a lake there, and he drowned himself in the lake, and the dog was found sort of waiting at where he was, which is a bit weird. Whether that's any connection, I don't know, but it shit me up when I fucking heard that. Okay,
I bet.
but it's the only time I've ever heard anything in a house, really, in that sense.
Well, yeah, that is weird. I mean, yeah, continuing on with the stuff I've had. I mean, you see this little guy here, right? A Pelican lapel LED light, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then you literally gotta like pretty much force it up. You need force to lift it up, and the lights go on, right? And it snaps back down. This thing did not work for years. I didn't replace the battery in it or anything. It would not work. I can open it, close it, wouldn't work. The lights wouldn't come on. And then one day I came up here, and it was on the anniversary of a good friend of mine who had passed away at the time, 20 years ago. And I come upstairs, and there weren't any lights on, but I see there's a light on my desk, and I come in here, and sure as shit, this thing's open like this, illuminating the room, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how the hell did this, you need to like pry it open, right? And I closed it, picked it up, I closed it, opened it again, the lights wouldn't come on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy. Like, how do you explain that kind of stuff, Matt? When logically there's like nobody around to do that. It's like somebody's playing, a crazy joke on you or whatever, but there's nobody else. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Weird. Awfully weird.
I've had a weird one with keys.
Yeah.
You're looking for you're looking for your keys, and you can't find your keys. So you go, right, where are the keys? You look around the house, and this was in Bishop's Cannings. Specifically, it's not happened in this house. I've not had anything like that happen here, but keys would go missing, and you go, "Where's my keys?" And it's like, right, okay. I normally put them here, so you look around and you sort of turn everything over, up, down, no. Okay, so get frustrated, sit down, and sort of like, right, okay, think, and then you go and do it again. You go through everything again, and no, it's still not there. Right, okay. So you're sort of pondering around, wandering around, and then walk up to the stairs, and the keys are in the middle of the bed.
Wow.
Right there, dead central. And it's like, hello. Sorry. Hello. Is somebody trying to give me a message, or why is this happening? Thank you for the keys, but like, what's going on here? Yeah. And I mean, you've obviously seen that they're not going to be in the middle of the bed, because it's an open bed, and the keys are the only thing on the bed. Yeah, weird. That's happened a few times. Yes.
Yeah, it's it's like what you look at all sorts of theories, and obviously there's lots of things that people like to say, and one of them is like there are people known as tricksters, these things that like to play games, but
Yeah.
there's no rhyme or reason to it other than they just, that's what they do. And what they are is anybody's guess. There's all sorts of things, but again, it's a different story if you witness something that is seemingly human, or recognize somebody you recognize, but you don't understand. Wait a sec, that person is no longer with us. What is going on? It just, the chills run down the back of your spine. It's like, oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
The wonderful world that we live in, and the craziness that is contained within it. There's just so much that just so much that we can sit there and go, wow. I I mean, is it really worth trying to explain, or just go with the flow? I mean, in many times you could just drive yourself insane trying to explain it.
It's like, you think, am I going crazy?
Yeah.
If I've looked everywhere, and it's like they're not there, they're not there, they're not there, they're not there, and it's like boom, in the most obvious place of all, and it's there right in front of you, and it's like, yeah, makes you sort of say, are you going mad? Is it me, or is it something else? So
yeah, it's very strange. I get what you're saying, Matt. I do.
Yeah.
Because you sort of, you think to yourself, because you've obviously looked everywhere, even on the bed, I would presume, and it wasn't there. I mean, is it your mind filtering it out? Like they're there all along, but your just mind's filtering it because you're too busy trying to think, oh, where do I put it? Where do I put them? So you don't recognize that they're on there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
You try to say to yourself that you were so busy looking everywhere else, you didn't look in the obvious place. It's like no.
Yeah,
it's like
I looked there.
I looked there. And it's like, yeah, and then your brain sort of says, well, hang on, am I sort of like fully functioning at the moment? Am I corpus mentis? Am I and it just these things happen. If you experience them, it's weird, and yeah.
I think we've all been there when you're trying to find something, and then it's like it's the first place you look, it's not there. You keep going, and then you come back to where it was before, and they're there. You're like, what the fuck? How that works, I don't know. Is it just a space continuum sort of thing? You know what I mean? It's like,
fresh eye syndrome.
Yeah, fresh eye syndrome.
What's that?
It's right though. I mean, is it that, or is it something different? I mean, you can't prove either way.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of what happens is, obviously you're gonna have your fair naysayers, but at the same time you go, I may not be able to prove it, but can you disprove it? That's the thing. I mean, you can't disprove it.
There's certain things you can't disprove, and you can't prove. I mean, like the stuff I've said. I mean, I haven't said about the other bits, but like there's, I go through logical process, or I have to do it because it's something like that. I'm thinking, okay, so we'll start at the beginning. And you keep going, and you come across all the scenarios, and you keep going for other stupid scenarios, and then you go back to the logically. You think, well, I can't come to a conclusion here.
Yeah.
For want of a better word, it's a paranormal thing has happened.
Yeah, just completely unknown, completely unusual, and yeah, strange. That's the fun part.
That's
the
why I've
fun
always
part.
said I was skeptical. I've always said I'm skeptical, but I'm edging towards not being skeptical now. You know.
Well, I think I think it's healthy to be skeptical. You need to have that skepticism because I mean, if you don't have that skepticism, you're going to sit there and think everything is, whatever.
Absolutely, no, absolutely, and
Yeah.
you know, if I went on a paranormal thing, if I went out with sort of Carl or Matt or whatever, and they were doing an investigation, I would be fucking questioning everything. And I've said this before. I'll get the chance to eventually. I will, but I'm not going to turn the camera off. I'm just going to carry on with it. It could be 3 hours long. I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, because you never know what you'll capture.
I won't have a cut I wouldn't have a cut on it.
Yeah.
Unless the fucking camera went out, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't, because in that way, if anything does happen, you're proving it there in real time. You can't, you've manipulated. Well, how have I manipulated it?
There was the trousers being pulled down. You know, how the hell did my trousers get pulled down?
Yeah.
That made me
laugh. Yeah. That's right.
I mean, and it's like, just bizarre.
I honestly, Matt, often I've looked back on it since, and I don't know. I know you very well now, so I take what you say as truth, because we're friends and we do, we get on, etc. You're not just somebody I've seen on YouTube and gone, oh look, his trousers are being pulled down. So I find you quite credible. You know what I mean? But it's a fucking weird thing, because especially on that, I mean, the naysayer could say, well, that's all staged. There's ways to stage things like that, but
the thing is, we everyone was arguing amongst each other, saying like,
well, that's what I mean. I know on the video you were arguing.
We saw the trousers come down, but like, how did it happen? It was like, yeah. So
it is weird, and I think that's what I've always enjoyed about this is, not only listening to the stories, that everybody's got a story, which is cool. Just the weirdness of it all, because I mean, it kind of, I don't know about you guys, but people will say that's not normal, but I don't know. It kind of, to me, it brings a sense of like easing normality, to know that, there are people out there that are, witnessing and experiencing unusual things, because I don't know about you, but I think it'd be totally unusual for somebody not to experience something,
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, it's what was the other thing we had? The footsteps running down the corridor at an RAF base, and we'd done like a death whistle, and put sounds of sirens going, bomb raid sirens going, and next thing you know, you hear like footsteps like running down the corridors. And yeah. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
Overall, it's a strange phenomenon, because on one hand, people could say, so I've said this before, you all hear something at the same time. Is that like a mass hysteria, a psychological thing going on, or did it actually happen?
Yeah.
But like another thing I had once was where I was working. We basically went up to fix a light in a lift, and to get where we have to go, you have to go up these stairs, and the doors are all They're heavy oak and they cannot be closed any other way than you physically close them.
Yeah.
We went up there first of all. We looked at the light and went, yeah, we got to get this certain light. Went back down to our store bit.
Pressurize.
And we come back. Sorry, Matt.
No, you just saying fresh
Yeah,
eye
I know. I
syndrome.
pressed the button.
Oh,
yeah, highlighted again.
That's right. What was I saying?
Right,
Yeah, so
my eyes
went
need
to
some
the
more
store,
drops
come
in
back.
them. Yeah.
Come back, and we're at the bottom of the stairs, me and my friend Steve. And he was one side, I was the other. And for whatever reason, we just stopped. We were talking about various things, just in general, you know, as you do. Just like I was doing a night shift with him, just doing milling around, really. We got time to waste, so we're having a chat, you know. And I could hear like noise upstairs, like people walking around. And bearing in mind where this building is, there is a road next to it, but there was definitely no one on the road because you could see there's a window. You could see there was no one around, no cars, no nothing. And it was coming from upstairs. And as he was talking to me, I looked up like that. You know, as you do, you just look around when you're talking to people. I just looked up like that, not thinking. I think, what the fuck is that? And he's gone, did you hear that as well? And when he said that, everything went quiet and a door slammed upstairs. And we know, to this day, we know that the doors were all closed because we had to shut them. When you lock up, we have to shut them. There was no one else in the building. There's no way you could actually get anywhere at all. And the fact that we both heard it, and then when Steve said, "You hear that as well?" It went quiet and the door slammed, and that was it. It's like deadly silent. We're like, whoa. So like, tell me that, you know?
Yeah.
And that wasn't the first time I'd had an experience in that building either, because I was there loads of times. The first time I had an experience, I was sitting, basically they called it a lodge. I was sitting there, and you had some stairs going up to another room, and it's like an oak door. And the oak door was just shut too.
Yeah.
And there was no windows in the other bit in the corridor, and there's some 2 toilets, the stairs which I just said about, and there's another corridor with a locked door. And upstairs, in order for anybody to get, you would see if anybody come downstairs, did what they're going to do, what prank, you would hear and see them go up the stairs. You can get up and walk there before they went up the stairs. You know what I mean? I was sitting there on a computer like this. My missus she just told me that she was there on the phone to me that day. She was pregnant. So I'm like, yeah, that's great. Fucking brilliant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and the door, which I could quite see in my vision, opened, and I thought it was the CCTV because they could get round from upstairs and down. It just opened and then just shut, and I'm like, what the fuck? I went, all right, lads, and there was no one there. I literally got off my chair, and the missus on the phone, so I called me back. I had the torch. I went up there. I ran up the stairs. There's like 3 steps. Jumped up them, went into the corridor, had a look, nothing, went upstairs. I checked everything, nothing. At this time, I didn't know because there was the security said, yeah. When I told them that night, they went, that's the ghost. So what do you mean they then tell me there's fucking allegedly haunted? Yeah. I knew nothing about that. And they would only tell people if something happened. Yeah.
Vit's saying, you know, when you have physical evidence, that's when you start to take it seriously. I think that's the human condition. I mean, humans rely on tangibility, right, Matt and guys? You know, like people need the physical sort of evidence, where I think a lot of this happens outside our you know, common senses. You know, and that's why we don't understand what a lot of it means, because we don't really use a lot of those senses, you know. Like, I mean, those animal instincts that we had years ago before domestication. Like, there's so much that we don't understand anymore. And I think when, there's a lot more going on, outside the sort of physical aspect of things. That's for sure.
Yes, the things with coming ports are interesting. I've had things flying across a room. Things fall off a shelf, and I've had many instances, all in Bishop's Cannings. Again, never had anything weird happen here in this place. But in Bishop's Cannings, there was there were things falling off shelves. Things would just jump across, and it was like, what the hell's going on here? And I find it quite playful. I was like, oh wow, could you do that again? Hoping that something else would happen, but it didn't. But you're sitting there, and then somebody just goes, poof, and it's like, how the hell did that happen? How the hell did that just get from there to there? What the hell?
Yeah.
And there were quite a few things happened in that house. So it's interesting.
What counts as physical evidence? I mean, there are people who have made claims of, anything from demonic activity to, being assaulted by, there's all sorts of physical sort of claims. Succubus, incubus, all sorts of things that sound like absolutely crazy, but when you listen to them, they absolutely believe that, and it's just to us, because we didn't experience it, it seems far-fetched, but I mean, who are we to say they're lying, right? So other than trying to explain as best as possible what might have happened alternatively. So but I mean, there's a lot of well-known cases. I mean, look at Dr. Barry Taff and his research on a woman in California who was claiming that she was being assaulted by I think what is it, a succubus or incubus? I mean, it was documented in the movie The Entity, right? So I mean, you when you talk about physical, it's kind of like when I was in the Spruce Lane farmhouse during an investigation, I literally had my shirt tugged, and that didn't make any sense to me. I mean, like I was in a stagnant farmhouse that all the windows were closed, and it was in the middle of August, and it was like an oven, and yet you could feel the shirt being tugged as if somebody had grabbed it, not when, because it would feel differently. You're actually being tugged.
I think you got to class the paranormal stuff in different categories as well. Because what you've just touched on, there's quite a few different areas there. I mean, obviously, like someone tugging a ghost, for want of a better word, or an entity tugging, or what was that? Then you've got the incubus, succubus as well. Is that a demonic thing? Because then you go to, is there angels, is there demons, which are completely different to ghosts? If you look at the parapsychology of things, they're different entities, different things. So then comes under a different umbrella. The thing is, with paranormal, there's so many different things which are, which can happen. Is how do you categorize it and where do you put it?
Yeah.
Because I've had right. So you're saying about like I had a incubus. I think you said it. The other way is the succubus. I thought was asleep, and then I felt something press on me, and I can't move, I can't scream. My missus is sleeping next to me. I'm trying to, like, you know, and this has happened more than once. And I'm like, okay. The only way I sort of got myself out, to the extent one time I fell on the floor. I thought I fell on the floor, and I'm like going, oh, off me, whatever. Couldn't see anything. It was just whatever force. The only thing to stop that was to say the Lord's Prayer. So I was saying it in my head, I couldn't speak, right? I've then come out of whatever it was, and I'm in my bed. I physically believed that I had fallen on the floor, but then and I couldn't move. But let's go on. Let's go on a logical thing here now, right? Okay, did that happen? Maybe, don't know. Or was it because I was half in and out of sleep and in sleep paralysis? Because in sleep paralysis, obviously you can't move, you can't do much at all, really. And it's a well-known fact that you can get sleep paralysis if you don't quite wake up properly. You can't move. You can feel fear. You can feel scared.
Yeah.
So which one was it? Was I still dreaming, but it was so real that I thought it was real?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
so that's where me looking on from an experience, or more than one experience like that. Looking on a logical explanation, because there's nothing else I can do. I can't prove that it happened, especially when I thought I'm falling out of bed. I can't move. I'm being sort of near enough strangled, and then I say the Lord's Prayer. Then all of a sudden I sort of snap out of it. I've woken up and I'm in my bed.
Wow.
You tell me. Was I just experiencing sleep paralysis? Did it really happen, or is it something else?
And you remember everything vividly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I can't say that's sleep paralysis.
It's happened more than once, at least 3 times. And the only thing to get out is say the Lord's Prayer. Now you could also say, okay, because you believe that there's a higher power and so forth. In your mind, you're saying it, so it sort of clicked you out of it. I don't know. Yeah, see, but I have to explore that area. So a lot of people go, oh no, it was. A lot of people go, oh no, yeah, it was definitely, you were definitely being attacked. Other people who are more skeptical go, no, you got sleep paralysis.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the general thing. I mean that's the first rule of thumb with a lot of people who are
But you get where I'm coming from, don't you?
No, absolutely, absolutely, and I've heard similar stories, and I mean it's in a realm that we don't fully understand, and that's the thing, and that's why people they will get defensive when you try to tell them no, it's sleep paralysis, and it's like I don't know why somebody would even say that when they probably haven't got a fucking clue what sleep paralysis is all about.
See,
right?
The reason I've said it on both sides is because I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's happened more than once, the same type of thing. And the only thing, and I remember it vividly. So I've obviously snapped out of it or whatever. I've managed to get free, however you want to go there, by saying the Lord's Prayer. Now, you could say on that, well, that's because you believe in something and that's helped you, and but then you could go on the other side. Okay, that's fine. I get that on both sides. It could be this, it could be that. But then going back to the other things that you were talking, we were talking about earlier, especially when you do if you're doing a paranormal investigation and perhaps there's a demon and so forth, or a bad spirit or something like. It's like, okay, so why do you put salt round in a circle to protect you? Because if it's it's supernatural. So if it's supernatural, why are you using something physical to stop that supernatural? Because surely, is there rules to this now? Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
get where I'm coming from.
yeah, oh,
Is it?
absolutely.
They're
I
also
mean,
that then. So you can summon a demon, but it doesn't matter if you put a circle around yourself, right, and
you're
say an
protected.
enchantment of some sort, you're then protected.
Well, I think
Sure.
I think if anything, people will look at that as a religious sort of symbolization, right? The
Right. So if you look at
salt
it
in the
as a
wound.
so it will. So if big devil's advocate, it's just a religious thing.
Mhm.
Is there truth in this religion, or is there not?
And that's the thing. I think a
Or is it
lot of people.
supernatural and it's part of the universe as it is?
And that's the thing. I mean, I have actively, when I look at this, I actively look at it from outside the box. I mean, you can't continue to look at this from a religious standpoint,
No.
because most people, like, there's so many flaws in looking at the paranormal from that standpoint, because you're looking at what the Bible or the scripture or whatever religious sort of text you've bought into, and you wholeheartedly believe it. It's like demons, right? I mean, do I believe there's demons? No, I don't believe there's demons. If there's anything demonic, it's humans. Humans are evil, if anything. I mean, I've been in so many investigations where there's been claims of demonic activity that have been fully explained, right? Have nothing to do with demons. Many of the time, I'll tell you, most of the time, I'd say about 80% of the claims that are demonic are abuse, physical abuse. Physical
Yeah.
abuse is a huge mental issue driver that people don't realize. When somebody is pushed beyond the point, they create this stuff in their mind. It's a huge thing that happens, and people don't realize that. If you don't deal with them properly, you can make the situation worse.
Yeah, that's like a mental health thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then, from what I mean, I disagree with. I think there is such thing as demons.
And most people, and some people do that. That's quite fine.
Yeah. Because if you say, "Oh, there isn't," because then you think, "So, well, are you limiting the Almighty or whatever entity you want to say they are?" It is. And obviously, looking at the world around you, I'm not saying it's got to sort of be physically in the world somehow, whether it's supernatural or whether it's physical. Yeah.
Well, I think I guess I need to explain why I don't believe demons per se. I don't believe demons in the traditional sense. These physical sort of beasts. I don't believe that. I do believe there are things happening that we don't understand, but I do not believe that there are, demons in the traditional sense that many people believe them to be. Right? I don't believe that, there are these creatures that
like a horned fellow walking around with
horned or whatever else.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think demons or demonic is something entirely non-physical. I don't think it's a physical sort of aspect of our surrounding. It's there. It's like anything that happens in the paranormal. We don't understand it because I think it's outside our theory that everything only exists in the physical realm.
So it's outside our perception, is what you're saying.
It's outside our usable senses.
Yeah.
Our classic senses that we use on a daily basis to understand.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you on it as well
Right.
in that sense, because
That's
there
what
is
I
evil
mean.
and there is good. There's good and there is evil.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by I don't believe in the traditional sense of what most believe demons to be. Right. I think that's a misconception. And again, going in and discussing this with somebody who is they believe they're being demonically possessed. I mean, you look at people who are like, that exercise these demons on a daily basis. People like what's his name? God, I can't even think of his name. Oh God. Oh man, I can't. I always forget his name. I can't think of his name. Anyhow, and he outright, it's like watching a television evangelist, and you're right there. It's like, come on, are you serious? And we all know about TV
Yeah, I
evangelism.
was going
We
to
all
say,
know
I
about
don't trust
evangelists.
any TV evangelists. I mean, to be fair, I mean,
Many of them are like that on a different level.
I think when you've got, obviously, when they do exorcisms and so forth, I think, I think they even look at the mental health state of people as well. And yes, there is an element perhaps of mental health there. The striking thing would be for me is, okay, the priest or the rabbi, whoever has exorcised this demon. I'll say quote demon in this case because we're discussing it as an open term. The person afterwards is okay. Not always. Hasn't always. There is cases where it hasn't, but they're okay. So, what has caused this? So, is it that the priest has just sort of decided to go, oh yeah, go away, Mr. Demon, that's it, it's done, and then they're all fine? So what? They're like some type of paranormal psychologist who can fucking rid the world of all the bad things in mental health,
and they know that.
Or is it a supernatural thing going back to the evil and the good?
They know that, a lot of these people who claim that, they're dealing with a demonic presence have bought into the system.
Yeah,
and they know the only way you're going to make them believe is to go through the motions with them. And I hate saying that, but I mean, a lot of the times you look at a lot of and
I've got to go for a piss.
Yeah, well, I'm going to end this anyways, guys. But I mean, it's like you talk to a bishop or a priest, and you ask them, they'll all tell you it's extremely rare of a true demonic sort of possession, if you will. And they'll describe it to you quite differently than the traditional sense in terms of what exactly what it is. I don't know, but it's like a lot of the paranormal, trying to give people a legit answer. It's like, forget it. I mean, people have bought into this stuff and they don't want to hear anything different. They don't. Yep. So I don't know. But anyways,
I'm not sure, but it's an interesting discussion. Thanks, Steve.
It's great. Amazing discussion, man. I just want to thank both of you for coming on.
I think these spirits or entities or whatever they are, they can kind of they're not physical in our dimension. You can't touch them
exactly.
But they can penetrate your mind. They can penetrate through materials. They can go through walls. They can appear. They can move from place to place. Some of it is like the UFO sort of law. It's kind of like they can shift in and out of being seen, being not seen. They can move from place to place, and the entities talk through the mind. So there's parallels with UFO and alien contact,
And that's why you always hear that, Matt. You always hear the connection between the two.
Yeah,
that they're closely connected, and we just are. Is this intelligent civilization or extraterrestrial kind of projecting this environment and making us think it's something else? There's just so much, but you could go on and on and on and about that's why it's such an interesting topic.
Yeah.
See, it's like if like Matt said, like, so if aliens are proved tomorrow to be real 100% and it is happening, they've gone, yep, we've got this, we got that, blah blah blah. It then comes down to is it their technology?
Yeah,
is it that they're able to use their brain a bit differently to what we do? Because then it then comes from the realm. It then goes from the realm of paranormal to the realm of reality.
Yeah,
You want to call it, yeah, which is very interesting itself. So then what Matt was saying, that link is sort of somewhat severed a little bit.
Yeah, it's it's like I said, you could steer this in so many directions, and so much of it makes sense. And
it's all mind over matter, really. Because if you don't mind, it don't matter.
Exactly.
I don't know if you saw Dr. Phil on. He was interviewed by Ross Coulthard, and he was saying, that he believes that the government lied to the public about not paranormal, UFO subject, UAPs and this sort of stuff. But he believes that there's been a kind of a dismissal of that this stuff is real, and now he believes that we're gonna go through disclosure, and people are going to understand that this stuff is real, and it might have massive ramifications on people's beliefs in religion and other things. But it's not going to be earth-shaking.
No,
but it's this is taking place right now. People are sort of like switching over to a new kind of understanding that there are things that we don't understand that are happening, that we can't explain, that do happen, that are real.
I don't think if it was proven, like you say, I don't think they always bang on about it would then shake the foundation of religions and all this. I don't think it would. I don't think it would. Well, so you're telling me that if you believe in an almighty, omnipotent being, or for want of a better word, right, who allegedly made me, you, and everybody else, that they're not able to make an alien somewhere on another planet, and just as a little side project, made a little side project, but didn't tell anybody, right? So hang on, because then you're limiting your own God.
Yeah.
Whatever religion you're in as well. I'm not just saying, say, Christianity, for example, but if you then tell me, well, there's aliens, that means there's no God. Well, where are you getting that from then? Because you're now limiting your omnipotent God, who's all powerful and created everything, to like, oh no, it can't be because there's something we didn't know about.
Yeah,
that's like saying to like in Jesus' time, oh yeah, by the way, we got a light bulb with a mobile phone. That fucking wasn't mentioned in the Bible. That can't be true, then, can it?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you get my point?
Absolutely.
I don't see the logic in that. I think it's all just, they don't want to tell you what is actually happening.
No, God no. Why would they do that?
They think people, closed-minded, narrow people won't want to know. In my opinion, I think it would strengthen people's faith in somewhat. You know, look at the expanse of life we have on Earth already.
Yeah.
The diversity you have from us living on the land to the deep sea creatures we know very little about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Only what 20% of the
life
oceans have been explored.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that diversity just there on our small little blue planet in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Sure, Justin, come in at the last minute.
There's you know, if telepathy is real, if remote viewing is real, if UFOs and UAPs are real, and possibly ghosts are real, you know, if all of these things could be potentially there, then you know, I think that makes it an exciting future. You know,
Absolutely.
rather than anything, you know, sinister. I think it actually brings people to sort of realize that there's something else.
Oh, you know? I'm always intrigued with hearing and listening and experiencing new stuff.
Gives me hope.
Because,
hope. It goes back to the people. You know, people in general. The human race is scared of the unknown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Literally, you know, scared of what will happen, what the ramifications of finding out something, you know. And when the human race, which probably won't, but when they realise, well, it's not too much of a problem, we've got to live in harmony with everything. You know,
yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you come from, what religion, whatever. I mean, that's, you know, perhaps that's a little byproduct, but you can't be so close-minded to think, no, there's no aliens, there's no ghosts, there's no nothing.
No.
Because if there isn't, why do you see these things? Why do you experience these things?
Yeah. I would love to carry this on, man. I'd love to do this again. This has been a really, really cool conversation, guys. And it was great hearing the stories too from both of you. So that the experiences and shit. So yeah, I think that'd be great. I'd love to do this again. But I want to thank everybody for popping into the chat, and Matt and John. Thank you again, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Really, really intriguing.
Next time you see me, I won't be so
docile.
Tired.
So docile.
Tired.
We'll put them on a treadmill.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys take care.
All the best.
And don't forget, stay strange. Strange is wonderful. Take care, guys. Later.
Salutations, great Buckaroo Banzai.
John Butter.